Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Global Market Monthly Webinar. Okay. First of all, thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Jonah, and then alongside with me is Xiong. So, for today's webinar, we'll be doing real-time technical analysis on the US equity. Then, do also note that whatever we are sharing tonight is solely based on our own opinion as well as our own observation on how the market moves, right? So moving on. Okay, so we'll be firstly talking about the current market condition. Basically, I will be using the ticker the counter SPY. Okay, is SPDR S&P 500. Basically, it's an exchange traded fund that track the S&P 500, and we'll talk about what is actually going on using the SPY on generally what is where the market is actually moving. And then when I'm sharing the current market condition, maybe maybe you can do me a favor is that during this period you can also state some of the counter that you want us to do technical analysis on. Then this way, once I've discuss on the current market condition, we can straight away look at what are the counters that y'all might want us to do technical analysis on. And of course, throughout the whole webinar, y'all can also ask us any question, and then we will just answer them along the way. All right. So let's take a look at SPY. Okay, so now this is the SPDR S&P. So, all right. So now this is I will start with the daily chart first, and then I will slowly zoom down to 30 minutes for intraday. We will see how what the market is currently doing. So you can see that generally, if we look, we zoom in. Okay, we zoom into this year, from the start of this year, right? We realize that actually generally market is on a bullish trend, but surprisingly, that despite some information to give you is that actually Fed has been constantly increasing interest rate, and as of the interest rate is currently standing at 5.5%. Now but here's the thing, here's the funny thing is that usually generally fundamentally, right, whenever Fed increase interest rate, there will be a inverse relationship with the market. We will say that when Fed increase interest rate, market is more likely to be bearish. But then the thing is here is S&P is standing at a bullish trend, right? So something to take into consideration. Maybe to give you an explanation, one possibility as to why, even though interest rate is increasing, market is moving upwards, is because our job data is actually still pretty strong. That's one. And then two is that Fed is actually forecast terminal rate for interest rate at 5.6 for this year. So with where it's standing now, there's a chance that actually market is actually pricing in for the pivoting, meaning to say that Fed might just decrease interest rate soon. But with the current core PC price index, which is the indicator that Fed uses for inflation, is standing at 4.1. So it's Fed desired goal is to bring inflation down to 2%. So there is a chance that with this information, Fed may just hike one last time this year, and that they may hold the interest rate at 5.75 for a period of time. They will hold it for a while until the core PC price index actually drop down close to 2%, and then that's where they will start to pivot. Or just to give you a general information, then you will realize overall, but as of where it stands, then if you now then zoom into 1 hour candle, right? For the day is bullish, right? It's currently bullish. If you look at immediate level, there should be one somewhere around 450. Okay, within this area, right? Now, so where the price is now, personally, I myself, I wouldn't make any decision, I will let it touch the 450 level and see what it will be behaving as to. And also why the reason why here is also a potential level is because if you look at where my arrow is, this previously a range, right? And then what actual price does is that it actually went down, right? Break and then you retest and then continue the bearish trend. So where as of where it is now, right, we will have to wait the price more SPY where it reaches the 450 level. Okay, so as of current for the day, yes, it is a strong bullish, right? Then dependent on how the price move. Okay, so for myself, draw some arrows. Okay, something that you are good practice is that you are can anticipate how you are want price to move. So for myself, right, if let's say price continue to hover, it start to do a rejection and go down, right? Now, the first rejection, right, I probably still wouldn't make any decision yet. Okay, but if supposedly price rejected, now if decided now if price tap, right, it rejects now, and then after subsequently it decided to form a lower high. Okay, it start to form a lower high, and then it start to fall down below the previous low. Then probably that's where we can make a decision that market probably is going to go back down, right? Else, if not, another scenario that could happen is if let's say SPY were to break above. Now, at this moment, there's a chance that it will start reject and then fall back down. So we don't know, right? But if let's say it decided to fall back down and then break and retest that level at 450 and decided to go back up above this high, then we can confidently say that the probability of it continue the upward movement is very high, right? So, but do take note of this current level at around 460, 460, right? If let's say you are want to take opportunity based on this movement, right, know that there should be one at around 460. Then before you are decide to make any decision, right? Then let me take a look at what are the counters that you want us to do. Oh yeah, maybe, and this is also basically on, so since I have Xiong with me, so we are actually provide technical analysis on two different perspectives. I myself, I prefer like to use a clean chart. So maybe I can let Xiong, then Xiong, he like to use certain indicators. So I will ask Xiong, maybe Xiong, for yourself, what do you think in terms of your technical analysis, where do you think SPY or the general market is currently moving?
Okay, maybe Jonah, let me share the screen now. Okay, sorry, guys, wait a second. All right. Okay, so my chart is very different from what you see just now, Jonah's chart. This was a very clean chart. And I like to use this, complicated indicators. So I think I know what I'm doing, but I actually don't. So yeah, I think I agree on what Jonah said. He mentioned about the levels itself. From looking at the SPY, currently it's at the 450 level. Today is quite calm. I've been looking at the market since market open, and it doesn't have very large movement, pretty flat. So we can probably expect this for the next hour or so, unless there's a big news. So on Friday there will be this unemployment news coming up, which is something I watch out for lah. So Friday will be a critical day where I maybe decide whether I want to close or open position. So looking at the SPY now, I feel like there's more downside. I believe everyone here feels like the market is at the top already. But then as we pray for the market to come down, the market is still going up. So we shall see. I'm looking. So if you look at my trading view, right? I have these AI stocks. So I do follow the trend. I think keeping up with the AI strength, there's a lot of opportunity lah. But for today, it's quite flat, I would say. Yesterday there was a large increase in price. You see NVDA going back up close to 500. Then for Adobe itself, it reached 540. So moving on. Okay, so if you guys got any counters, feel free to put it into the question. We will review it. So I'll still look around. Okay, maybe let me pick out some questions. Okay, I'll do Google. So, okay, you see that Google is keep on ranging higher and higher. I believe it's also part of the AI strength. So if you guys have been investing in AI, good job. I think it's a very good buy and hold for the long term. This trend will continue until something breaks, someone's earnings or something miss the target for the AI stocks itself then everything will start to go downhill. But judging from the last week we have NVDA, we also have the Jackson hole. I'm not sure how many of you watched it it was a pretty okay. It wasn't bearish. You see the market moving up higher and higher. So you see that investors are not very fearful. They are actually greedy at this point. But we are not sure if this is a bear market rally. So it's still very hard to say. Judging from the technical wise, Google is likely to go up more, reaching about 150. But this will take some time. We will still have to wait for the earnings. So we have a lot of earnings coming up in September. We have Adobe, Apple's announcing its new phone in another 2 weeks. So it's something for us to watch out for as well. So solely the AI stocks are still pretty strong. Although today is quite flat, there's not much movement. I still see a lot of growth in the AI stocks. Then looking at the banks, Tesla is slightly down. I believe that's due to the recent news They have this lawsuit. Not really lawsuit but like SARK, the SARK say that it's autopilot. There's still room for improvement. Then we see China consumer, which is good. Okay. Okay, I think there's a question on my indicators. So I'll explain more a little bit later. But I'll just touch on the stocks now. I'll still continue to monitor, but right now I'll just pass my time to Jonah to talk about whatever he feels like talking. And then if you guys have any questions, still post them. We will address them as we go along in this webinar. Okay?
Okay, hold on, let me share back my screen. So okay, then actually one of the audience actually asked about NIO. So asked me whether if we are pessimistic or optimistic regarding NIO. Okay, generally on a technical point of view, let's take a look first. Let me remove that first. Okay. Now as of the entire, if we look at NIO at a holistic point of view, from where it previously was and where it's sitting now, then of course generally because of the strong bearish trend, this counter generally I am not very optimistic about it because of how the price is actually constantly moving downward, right? It's not telling me that there's a strong bullish trend, but that's of course if we're looking at a holistic point of view, right? From 2021, right, to where it is standing. But if we look in the intraday point of view, you will realize that actually price. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look. Right. Okay, so you realize that at the low it start to break. Okay, because you realize that actually previously before this whole price movement is showing, right, previously this was a range, right? This was a small range, and then of course we have this very very big range. Okay, but then we are not look too far ahead. Okay, then after that it start to go down, right? And then after that decide to come back into the range, and then you realize that where the price here now is actually sitting back at the so-called level, so it become a resistant term support level, and then it continue upward trend. Now, so as of where it's sitting now, that means there's a chance that overall there's a change of structure. I mean, the price is trying to turn back bullish. However, because we then further zoom into where it is now, right? Because of this overall bearish trend, right? We will still have to let it sit back, sit back around the $8.60 $8.60 level, right? And then we can see whether will it reject, right? As I mentioned before, usually in terms of price movement, usually I would like to see like if let's say if we are looking for a potential upward movement, I'd like to see like a higher low. So like if price tap this level, it decided to reject, right? Now it start to go back down. Now it didn't go back. Let's say if this were to go back down, it's very dangerous, right? But if let's say it tap now and then it start to reject, okay, let's say, and then go higher, right? Now this is we call the higher low. Then there's a chance that this thing will turn back up, right? And then it will go back bullish. But then of course if it were to go back on the bullish trend, just take note, in immediate level we are looking at around $13, right? So that being said, now but what if let's say based on where it is now, right, then price start to go over. Now same thing, right? We don't know if this thing will break the level, because every level is like a wall, right? It's not easily broken. So that's why when it touches the level, right, you need to observe how price is actually moving, right? So same thing, if let's say price were to tap, it rejects, right? Now if it can break above and retest, now I personally would like to see this movement before I can determine whether this is going to be an upward movement, continue an upward movement, and then after that continue upwards. Else, as of where it is sitting now, okay, so generally I'm not very optimistic about this particular counter, right? Because like as mentioned, right, this is a strong bearish trend, right? So meaning to say market is not just myself, it's just market is just doesn't think highly of this counter. That's why it's moving constantly and moving a very strong bearish movement, right? If market is very optimistic about this counter, right, then you will be seeing something similar like what Xiong just shared just now on Google, right? Is a strong bullish trend, but then you will probably see retrace, but then generally it's still on the upward movement, right? But you compare now, if you just try to remember this current chart, right? And then you compare it with Google, let's say, right? You see, Google is a strong bullish trend, right? It trace and then now going back up, right? Forming higher lows and high highs, right? So this is the kind of in terms of technical analysis point of view, this is the kind of chart that we always like to see, right? It's more encouraging. But when I look at it, it's very discouraging, right? Especially if you have been holding since 2021, buying at a price of 60 over, good luck to you, right? So move on to the next counter. Let's see if there's any more count. Let's see what else. Right. Okay. Which better index can we show? Okay, so since we are at the page on the Google, right? Now the difference between one of the audience asked what's they are alphabet, so Google class A and class C. Now the difference is that the difference is that class A have voting rights for Google, and then class C does not have voting rights. But ultimately, chart movement wise, they are they move in the same direction. They will move in the same direction. There is a slight difference in prices, right? But the general movements, right, will move the same, right? So the general movement, just to answer Stephen Fu, right? So then, so I will then touch on. I'll scroll up from the top. Okay, so there's Apple. Okay, Apple. Okay, same thing. Apple strong bullish trend. It's a very strong bullish trend. And then if you scroll down to intraday, right? Then oh yeah, then you are also, if you are based on just now the past few chart, you realize actually generally the market is constantly moving up. This is also because what actually happened is that with the just literally about an hour ago, there was a release of the ADP non-farm. So ADP non-farm actually dropped lower than expected, if I'm not wrong. So generally, when there is lesser jobs, right? That means that there is the potential of demand dropping is lower, and then this will then lead, because ultimately, as mentioned just now during the when I talk about the market condition, is that Fed objective is to bring down inflation back to 2%, and in order to do that, we need to reduce demands within the economy. So with lower job change, now this will bring the demand lower. All right, so that's why you realize that generally market is moving up for the day, right? Just to if any of you actually observe, okay. But so for Apple, actually Apple is it has already been bullish. So now the most immediate support I'm looking at is somewhere around 180, right? You realize price from a minor range, tap back down, reject. Okay, now just this is to also make use of this just now before I actually open this Apple chart, right? Just now I show you the kind of movement that I was and I would like to see when I'm going for a bullish trend, right? This was initially arranged, right? Let me show you guys. Take this opportunity, okay? Now this was arranged, right? So before this thing happened, right? Hold on. So before this whole price movement happened, right? You realize this is a range. Price went back down and then shot up above, right? I mentioned to you that at this junction, I wouldn't do anything because I want to find a higher low, right? Just now I mentioned you, I mentioned at, in the previous chart, and then now that price has went above, it show a strong bullish movement. Then I am very confident that price will gonna go up. Now, so now as of where it's sitting now, unfortunately, price already moved up. So another potential scenario that that you might want it to happen now, okay, maybe I put it that way, is that now that this level has been broken, now if let's say you are looking for entries, then ideally you would then, for myself, I would want price to actually go back down first again. If let's say it does go back down, right, doesn't mean you can straight away, like myself, I wouldn't straight away long at this level, right? I wouldn't go for a buy. Why? Because if price will tap here, chances is that this thing may continue to go down, right? Because this level is not showing confirmation, right? It may continue to go down, may break back from a lower high and then continue downward trend, right? Then in the end you get caught, right? If you are looking at intraday. But let's say, so what I would anticipate for the price movement is that I want price to tap back to a level. Again, same thing. Now, this thing reject. Now, if reject, I won't do anything yet. Come back down, it failed to reach that level and then go back from a lower low. Sorry, a higher low. Then I know that, okay, then price wish to continue the upward movement. So that's for Apple. Okay, then that is for Apple. Then hold on, let me see what else. How to decide point of to enter? Okay, so I hope, okay, so one of the audience asked, like, how do I decide point to enter cut loss or take profits? Now, okay, so for take profits, I already given you an insight. So, but take profit, right? This is the difficult part, right? So, in order to take profit, right, you need to identify potential level first, right? So, in this case, right here, there's a gap. Right. Suppose now, okay, I will use to answer this audience question. This audience question, right, on how to take profit is that supposedly as Apple, right, where Apple is standing, let's say it does go down, right, and then it does show this price movement, then my stop loss will be slightly lower of this low, right, and my take profit will be where it rejected. Then I will take my first take profit, which most likely will be around here because previously this was actually a delicate level, right? Price previously tap here, reject, break, retest, and then continue a bullish trend. And then subsequently, what happened? This thing straight away falls, forming a gap here, right? And then you realize there's also a lot of rejection here, right? So now this will be my first level. So then it's also up to you to also how greedy you want to be, right? It's either, because I can't say that once it tap here, it wouldn't reject, right? So one strategy that you can use is that if price were to touch the very first level, maybe you can get out some first. You can get out 50%, 40% of the initial position. And then after that, subsequent, you can actually let the position run, and then after can let the position run. Then at least you have actually secure a certain amount of profits, right? So that's one strategy that you can use. So hopefully I've answered the question on how to enter cut loss as well as take profit, right? So then hold on, so Google, let me see what else. Let me check it. Okay, also to hold on. Tesla. So I go Tesla. I see a lot of people asking for Tesla. So Tesla, generally, okay, same thing. Tesla already shot up already. Yeah. So again, probably strong level. Yeah, strong level. Okay, would be somewhere around 239, 240, right? Because you realize I go by the 1 hour candle, right? Price tap, reject, right? Tap, reject again, go back down. Then now this just to re-emphasize what I've just mentioned also. Okay, I go to 30 minutes now. Okay, further down to 30 minutes. Right? Here there was a range. Then same thing with what I've just said, right? When price tap, right, I wouldn't do anything. What actually happened is, you see, look at this price. Okay, this thing tap, right? It go back down, fail to go lower, fail to tap back the level, and then it decided to go back bullish. Right, once it will go above this level, and then we can look for entry to do along, because there's a more higher probability that this upward movement is going to go up. So even before this chart, actually before I even open this chart, I already mentioned what I would expect price to move, right? So then it continued the bullish trend, right? Price went up, okay, same thing, price went up, okay, it break above, I wouldn't do anything yet. It start to go down, forming again a higher low, and then go above, and that's where the continue the trend to be bullish, right? So you realize probably if you open more chart, you will see same thing happen again and again and again. All right, likelihood, right? So for Tesla, right, again, strong bullish. So immediate level, actually, it has been probably the next, if you're looking at intraday, then probably the next level we are looking at is around 250.5. So draw another line, so it should be around here, right? Because previously this was a range, right? This thing tap, reject, break, retest, then forming this range. So where is sitting now? Okay, supposedly if this price were to go higher, maybe what for Tesla, for 30 minutes, okay, I wouldn't do anything yet. It already rejected. So I might want it to, for myself, I would want it to retrace down first. Again, retrace it down. And maybe come back up again. Then maybe I will, depending on how fast the price moves, then I may want to find a trigger, right? I want to find a trigger. So that is for Tesla. Then based on this range, it is, if let's say it were to form what I've anticipated, then where we will be looking at should be around about 260, right? Around 260, because price tap reject, right? Forming again lower here also. It was at a level, tap, reject, now form a higher low, lower high, and then it start to go down very straight. So basically, I just now also talked about it before already. So I'll continue. Then I'll talk about a few more chart. Then maybe he'll also let Xiong talk about his technical analysis on some of the counters. Then what is the trend for PayPal and CP?
So if you look at AI stocks, still generally pretty flat, not really affected. Then if you look at the banking and finance sector, slightly more down, but still okay. So generally is still okay lah, I would say. Not much movement today once again. We will touch on this. So I'll look into Pepsi. Right, one of the guys earlier mentioned about Pepsi. He wants to look at the entry exit level. So I have all these indicators lah. Unlike Jonah, which is very clean, clean chart. I like to see all these fancy indicators. So I have the RSI and the moving average lah. Then, so usually I'll take the lowest point, not the lowest, but I'll take this point as my support level. Then RSI will generally tell me that the the stocks itself is overbought or undersold. But of course, don't depend solely on RSI itself. You need to depend on other other indicators. So Pepsi is doing well. I think the F&B industry is generally doing okay. I would like to take a look at Coca-Cola to do a comparison because they are rival companies. Coca-Cola is also ranging. It's been in its 60 range for quite a bit. So if you're holding this, collecting dividend, I think Coca-Cola, Pepsi is very good big brands to have in your portfolio. Will it continue to grow? It depends on the consumer itself. But food, it will continue to rise. We have McDonald's. It's something I also take into consideration. McDonald's has been doing quite well. Look at this, such a big company, but still going quite well. And in Singapore, we always spend, but look how well McDonald's is doing, despite being such a big corporate company already. So McDonald's has probably reached one of the highest level. It's not something I would go into again. But all this depends on, if you really love McDonald's, feel free to enter this position. But it's quite high, I would say. Unlike Pepsi or Coca-Cola, which is ranging as of now. So if you're an option trader yourself, I think you can take opportunity in this ranging market. You can do covered call, or if you do sell puts, you can generate incomes at this really well-timed period because there's not much movement. So if I look back at the chart again, everything is pretty flat. AI stocks is slightly down, but I mean it's not down like 1%. It's still flat-ish. So not much big movement today also. But yesterday, if you watched the market yesterday, there was quite an increase in percentage for most of the stocks. It was more like a comeback, like everyone was at ease. Then today there might be a slight retracement, but we'll see. Okay, let me look at some questions. Okay, let me take a look at Google again. I will just look at Google again. Yeah, Google is still flat. On the bullish side, I would say for Google, is it something I'll enter now? Something, I think it's something to have in your portfolio. It generally does well even in this type of environment. So if you are buying stocks, if you are looking at stocks right now, do have some AI stocks in your portfolio. I think they are gonna help you quite a bit in as of the time now. So next we have Apple. So okay, so Jonah talked about Apple just now, and I think it's really interesting. They have news coming out next week. So they actually probably priced in already the movement. So you see the stock rising this much, right? It was actually due to the announcement of the release of their new phone, which is gonna happen in 2 weeks' time. So if you are, actually a lot of people is buying iPhone, and you can see it everywhere. I think most of us here are iPhone users. So iPhone is still a big brand to go to. It's also something I would want to have in my portfolio. This a good time of entry will probably be about 173 level. But as of now, it is still very uncertain how high it will go. The next level we are watching is about 200. Then we will if you are holding Apple, continue. You can take profit at any point of time, but it will be encouraged if to collect dividend, or if you have enough sell covered calls. And that's what I love to encourage people, sell covered calls. If you do not trade options, I think it's good to go and learn about options. You buy some shares you want, hold it, sell covered call, generate profit. If not, okay, I'll hand my time over to Jonah to talk about whatever he feels like.
Thank you, Xiong. Okay, so then let me take a look at what other counters that you all want me to do TA on. Okay. Okay, so I'll do Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft is let's share some sentiments. Is Microsoft is one of my favorite counter. Because oh yeah, I also take this opportunity to also share with you guys how like how some of us actually like how some of us actually like to pick our counters. For myself is I do have a certain checklist when I pick like what counters do I like to see. I think firstly is like why Microsoft is my bias, because it has accompanied me since poly. So I've been using Microsoft Office, Windows back when there was, I think, Windows 98. A bit revealing my age, but basically a counter that we pick is best that start from whether have you used it before, and then whether do you know other people use it, right? So I think this is the very first thing that you all want to look at when picking any counters. And then one more is that you want this counter to have news readily, meaning to say that people are so what, like when you search Microsoft news, for example, then you will whole list of chunk of news that is writing about Microsoft, right? Because usually news that are counters with news that is readily available, it generate volume within the market. It will allow price to move, right? So this, let me just to take this chance to also share some ways that you can pick counter. So talk about Microsoft. Okay, again, generally is in the bullish view. Okay, holistic point of view is bullish, right? And then if we were to look closer to 1 hour, right? Oh, this is a bit tricky because, but if immediate wise, right, you realize actually Microsoft is in a bearish trend, right? Because again, you realize it's forming lower lows and lower highs, right? So this is the current trend. Okay, this is the current trend. So if you were to zoom out, okay, because usually this kind is quite tricky because it's very hard to determine a very potential level. Okay, so I will first remove this drawing. So what I usually, if let's say when you see this and it's very hard to determine level, you can maybe just don't look at this first. You go back, right? Go back, then it's like from here it's easier to see, right? We know that there's one here at around 328. Then probably somewhere around here, there's another level at around 339, 340, right? And then we then scroll back in again. Then you will see a clearer picture that actually, oh, price actually broke downwards, right? Tap, right? Also do note that any levels is always an area, right? It's not exactly a singular price. It's always a zone, right? It's always a zone. But it's just I don't want to draw too many. I don't like to complicate my chart too much, so I like to use line as a reference, right? So you realize price tag reading around the zone, and then you try to go back down, right? Now, so this is the again. So now currently where it is sitting at again a potential level, which is probably a potential right now is just trying to break above, but it failed to, right? Then as of where it is now, if you want to go further, unless I go further in to look at the chart, because okay, so where as of where it is sitting now, right? Because it's sitting at a potential level. So what you might want to anticipate is that price were to again, it's the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing, right? Price break above. Let's say you will intend to do a long, then it's best that you wait for it to break, right? Come down, right? Don't want it to come back down, right? Because we don't know if you now if break, then you say, oh, retest also. That means break above 328, then I can long. No, not exactly the case, right? You want it to come back down and show a form of rejection. Again, same thing. Again, form a higher low and then go back up. Then okay, then we can confidently say that price may continue upward. But as for where he's sitting now, then if you are still wish to, okay, maybe if you are looking for like long-term wise, then what you might look, okay, so you realize here, then there's probably a delicate level somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around 320, 319, right? Because price tag, this is probably of, if you look at the daily chart, sorry, daily chart, right? This actually a fake up movement, right? This is a probably a fake up movement. Right, so actually price went down, go back up, and then tap to reject this level again. Right, it's just that for where it is now, I am anticipating for myself, I will anticipate it to break above. Right, I think it's less likely to come back down. If it does come back down, then um, we will have to check what again. We have to see what is doing at around 320 level for Microsoft. Right? So, but for Microsoft as of now, is mainly more on the bearish side and is sitting at the resistance level, right? So that's for Microsoft. And okay, so we have a crypto fan. So I won't do all. Okay, I will do just maybe two or three. All right, I'll do Mara first. Right. Before doing TA, I think if the company does, of course, this is just my market sentiments, right? So my personal opinions, because because I think crypto is already pivoting. So I think after last year, the break of peg from like the USD and Terra when the peg got broken, followed by the whole Silicon Valley saga that caused crypto to go down, right? Uh, I think what also contribute to the downward movement is also because uh, Fed increase interest rate, resulting USD to strengthen, right? So this will also, because personally myself, I mean, no offense to the crypto fans out there, personally, because I don't believe in cryptocurrency, because I heavily believe that it's really driven purely by sentiments. But if I were to put one singular fundamental in crypto, and that will be the relation with USD, right? So if USD were to strengthen, then crypto is most likely to weaken. That's my opinion on cryptocurrency. So now that Fed is at interest rate is at 5.5%, then with what they mentioned, that terminal rate will be at 5.6. So there's a chance that it will start to pivot soon. Now, if it start to pivot, then we may potentially see cryptocurrency price to go higher, which will then again result a lot of the crypto fan, to come back in to join the market again. So a lot of companies, like in my perspective, I feel that those crypto company, there's a chance that price may go up. Now there's a very high probability, but that's only betting on the fact that if the generally crypto continue to go upwards. And then, because ultimately you must also understand that there's still a lot of, I think the whole downward crash of the crypto resulted a lot of fear for the crypto market, right? So in order for the fear to diminish and resulting them to be more courageous again, I will take some time, right? So this will take time. So now, so coming back to Mara. Hey, Mara, holistic point of view, right? It was initially bearish, and you realize actually Mara is also starting to change character. The price started to form a slight bullish movement. Overall, it's still bearish, right? But you realize that from where it is sitting now, right, where it is now here, right, you realize that price is forming again higher lows and higher highs, right? So this is currently where based on immediate trend wise, where immediate trend is trying to be bullish. Then to top it off, for the day, it's also very bullish. So let me go down to 1 hour chart. So now, because previously this was a range, right? So price actually tap and reject. So now, where is sitting now is actually very tricky, because let me see. It's very hard to okay, probably there's one at around there's one level around here. So probably around 14, right? 14.2, 14 to 14.2. So it's not really sitting at any not exactly sitting on any levels yet, right? So it's reject. So again, if you are looking to really go for long again, I will say the same thing, wait for it to go back up, go break above the level, tap back down, show a rejection to form like a higher low, then we can then we can more confidently say that it will continue upward trend. If let's say, okay, so if let's say at where it is now, supposedly, now let's say we go closer, right? If let's say where it is now, let's say price, now it's not exactly reaching a level, right? But we don't know if it continue to go up. But if let's say price continue to go down, now it's downwards move, right? It's gonna go down, and then it start to form, let's say, lower high, right? And then it start to go down. Then there is a chance that this thing will continue downwards, right? It will continue to go down to reach this. Now, this, if let's say you zoom in even to a smaller time frame, right? Actually, this is also a range. Now, and it's also, we call this a consolidation. So when there's a consolidation, there is also remaining demand here. So probably you have to wait until it tap back here. That probably around right, this whole zone here from 10.5 to 10.7, right? When it tap back this area again, have to check, have to see how price is going to move first before you can make any decision. But generally, I believe any counters related to crypto, there is upside. There is generally a good upside potential, right? Then I'll just touch on the riot. Probably will move probably the same as Mara also. Yeah, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Okay. Right. So you realize it's carbon copy. It's the same thing, right? Low, higher lows, higher highs, right? Then now decide to go back up. Now it's stepping back to previously this range at a technical level of around 10, somewhere around 10. Now it's coming back bullish. So, but if you were to zoom in, then again from where they so previously so because this whole thing is a down, so it's not actually showing me any range. So you can track back to previous history data. So you realize that actually based on this, right, you realize that there's probably somewhere a level around 12 to 12.2. So again tapping, right? So again same thing, same as for Mara. Again you want it to break from a high low, right? And go, if let's say you want to look for entry, you can wait for it to break, tap, reject, form a higher low, go back. Then there's more upside, right? More upside. Okay, previously you realize same thing. You see this thing, we zoom in closer, it tap at this level. Now go back up, try form a higher low, and then continue bullish, right? You don't want it tap and then straight away decide to make a decision because you don't know if you continue downwards, right? It might break that level, right? So see the rejection, show a lower high, then you confidently say that price may continue outwards. So that's for Riot and Amara. Okay, let me see what other counter that you guys want me to do TA on. LOGI. We gained some loss after CEO. I'm not okay. To answer this audience question regarding LOGI Logitech, right? Because I do not know this counter, right? I personally don't know this counter, but I will, based on TA, to tell you where and okay, as mentioned, just to to also emphasize again, we are not allowed to provide any cost as to when you can buy or sell, right? Ultimately we will provide a certain levels and as well as certain price anticipation, how we expect price to move in a certain behavior before making any decision, right? So as to when is a good time to buy, I can't give you that call, because if I know, I also won't be sitting here. But then again, where is it sitting now? Because this counter is very tricky because of the movement. But okay, sorry, let me go generally. So it's generally is trying to recover back up despite this strong bearish trend. Okay, but its immediate trend wise seems like it's trying to move back upwards for this particular counter. Then if you then zoom into 1 hour now, given where so because so let me see okay, there's the delicate okay. So because personally when I look at this such counter where there's a lot of gains, it's quite tricky because there have minimal information. To me it has minimal information, but based on this rejection and this rejection, then chances is that this at price 66 is the potential level. Price already reject upwards, now form a a higher low, right? And then it already broke this high. So it does seems that based on all the whatever the previous analysis that I mentioned, chances that this thing have room for our movement, but because of this level here, right, there's still one more here, right? So if we base on zoom into this area, there's a lot of rejection here, right? So this could be a potential resistance. So even if let's say you were to do we were to long here, right, you don't know, you might get trapped here. So it will start range and start come back down again. So at where it's sitting now, probably again, you probably, for myself, I will probably wait for it to break. Right, same thing. I say the same thing. Come back, you try to retest, form a higher low, then come back up. Then chances is then there will be a more upward movement. Or based on immediate level is, again, we probably come back down. Okay, same thing. Come back down, tap this level, or even fake out. It would be great if you fake out. If you can fake out, come back up, then form a higher low, then okay. Then chances is this thing can continue upwards movement. Else, where it is now, I wouldn't do anything. But personally, I wouldn't do anything. So that's for Logitech. Then any more? Okay. Okay, then okay, I'll just do. Okay, I'll pass the time back to Xiong to do the last two counter. Then after that, I think pretty much we can end the night already. So I just pass the time back to Xiong. Maybe he can share with you the TA on the last two counter on MKTX as well as SARK, right?
Hey, thanks a lot, Jonah. Okay, oh, it's good to be back. All right, I'll try to finish things chop for everyone. I think there's still actually a lot of counter. I'm still watching the market as Jonah, show you guys the TA portion. Market is pretty flat as of now. Not much movement, nothing exciting. It's probably gonna be this way if it reaches 1 a.m. if you're still awake watching the market. 1 a.m. it's still gonna be like that. It's likely gonna close around this flat level. There's not much increase unless there's a spike in the news or and things like that. But looking at Logitech, someone mentioned, touching on what Jonah said, I think it's pretty reasonable to set the level of resistance at about 70. Then the next level will be about 72. But this is, the time frame, how people trade is very different. What I'm looking at is daily chart. So I'm expecting this move in about 1-2 months time. Okay, that's probably the longest I'm gonna hold or trade, and that depends on individual how you guys want to do it. All this takes experience. One day you're not gonna confirm buy low sell high. The days you're gonna buy high and sell low, it's definitely there. And I've been through all this lah. I think Jonah also lah. We have been there. We could have bought Logitech at 130, then we hold until now. And there are people who does this, and it's okay. It's not wrong. It's depends on your risk appetite, your risk level. So you need to, in terms of buying stock trading, you need to know a lot, not about the market, but about yourself. What is your risk appetite? Are you gonna take profit at $2 per share, or how are you gonna trade it? So you need to ask yourself all these questions before you actually make the trade, enter the trade, before you actually know what stock you want to buy. So yeah, with that, I'll go continue to MKTX. I'll do a quick one because there are actually a lot of counters, and I really love to. I wish to go through all of them. I think there's Netflix also, NVDA. So MKTX, I'm not too sure what this company does. So seems to be doing quite reasonable. But shares is going down. So what I'll do is I'll usually like to read what does this company do lah. Okay, it's an electronic trading platform. So investment. So okay, so I roughly know what it's about investment lah. Basically like a brokerage trading platform for people to trade. I see it's a downward trend. So what I'll do is I'll compare it to another company, maybe, to just see the chart, how is it moving. But it seems like it is going down, reaching a level at about 244. It's not likely gonna smash all the way down, but in terms of trading wise, I think it's still about the 200. So this stock, I believe, will maintain about the 200 to 240 level lah. It will probably range at that level in another 1 or 2 months. There's not much movement in this stock that I can really see, unless there's very exciting news. In terms of it seems like it's not a very, very big company, but rather a very small revenue company that is doing quite well lah. So next, I will talk about the SARK. Wow, a lot of new counters that I don't even know. Okay, ETF. Yes, is ETF fun? Is ETF, things you should have? I think it's good. If you have SPY, if you have certain indexes in your portfolio, I think it's good to have because they are the ones that help you tank through your years. So people who trade, it works for people when they buy at $1 and it grows to $10. But for me, sometimes I buy at $10 and then it grows to $8 and I'm scared I sell it off, and then next day it goes to $11. Then I at night crying. So it happens. It's very real. So okay, looking at this AXS Short Innovation Daily ETF. I am not too sure what is this. Seems like it's going downwards for the next few days. Let me check. Yeah, likely to it's a downward trend. Currently it's overbought and price is reaching the lower low. So is it a good time to enter? I'm not too sure about the future. I think it's good to read up on what is in this ETF itself because it's very hard for me to say. But according to TA trend, it's likely gonna move down slight a bit more. And it'll probably be a resistance about 30. Sorry, a support level about 30. So that's that. Okay. Let me see. We still got. Okay, I'll go for last one. Okay, Netflix. Actually, NVDA also want to talk, but wow. Okay. I'll try to chop. Okay, Netflix. Very big company, and it is surprising because after the COVID, it is still doing so relatively well, and that you see this big drop. Like we should all get it at this level, right? But who knows? Who knew? Netflix is still growing strong, but it's also how they maintain their subscribers. Even though they have been losing slightly, a few percentile of their subscriber down, but because they have raised the cost, so they managed to continue their growth-ish, which is okay. But there's still a lot of uncertainty for Netflix unless they do something really special. But it's likely gonna remain above the 400 level for the next few months until something happens to the AI industry lah. NVIDIA. Okay, so wow, this stock is like wow, such a nice chart. Wish you have gotten it like what at $100. Okay, NVIDIA is doing really well. Surprisingly, they had their earnings last week, and I was not so confident actually. But when they released, they released that they have beat estimate, the revenue also beat. Then I'm like, wow, this is mad. And we have analysts setting price target at 800, 700, 1000. Wow, have. I guarantee you go online search, have. Then you thinking like, wow, the analysts do until so high, really can grow or not? Wow, this is also another hard question, but it has reached the trillion market cap, which is reaching, went past the trillion level, which is quite good. It's quite an amazing feat, I would say. NVIDIA is likely gonna maintain at 500. The AI will stay relatively strong until the continuous news. So I believe the market is still waiting for news. There's not much news today, nothing much. It is still considered flat. It's probably gonna end around this pricing once market hits because about 9 to 11 is most volatile, but we don't see any volatility today. So we shall see. Likely if you look at the news, if you follow the news, go ahead, look at do check it out. There's a few news outlets. If you have, I can show you what I'm using. Baha News. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see, but okay, I'm using this. It's just breaking news, but all this you need to verify with another source. Go Google, go and see what news is coming out. You see MasterCard raise, wow. So all these are information that you need to make decision. So why fundamentals are, the fundamentals analysis are so important is because news will move the market, expectation, growth will move the market. So if you have stocks, it also depends on yourself. If you are a long-term holder, you just want to buy, close your eyes, sleep peacefully. Sure, it works for you if it's okay. But sometimes I close my eyes, the share will drop to 0. Then I'm like, next day OTC market. then I'm like, wow, what a decision I made. So now what I do now personally is I look at day chart. I do maybe my trades will last about 1 to 2 months. That's how I feel at ease. I can focus on my work, not much stress. So it depends on your trading style. If you're a day trader, you can sleep at night peacefully as your portfolio goes up or down 100 times. So be it. It works for you, it works for you. But no, I've been through that. It didn't work for me, clearly. That's why I'm doing swing trade right nowadays. So okay, any more last question? Okay, upcoming. Okay, I am not too sure about the upcoming okay, I think someone asked about this IPO. So sorry, I am not too sure about this IPO. If you have, I will still suggest you to go and read up on what they do and see how the industrial is actually doing. So with that, okay, I will end the TA session here, but we have some news to share on our promotion as well. Give me a second. Okay, so big thank you for all of you guys coming out. Do join our P3 community. It is very, very active. Me, myself, and my team, we post news update right here. So if you guys got any news, information that you want to see daily, do join this community. We have different communities. So we have the growth investing, Singapore stocks. We have all about ETF. So if you want to invest in ETF, but you do not know ETF, right? We have ETF specialists. Feel free to call us. You can go to this page. Sorry, this community in our P3 app. There is an active ETF specialist who will see what's your need and see what maybe ETFs are suitable for you. Then we have technical analysis group also. So this is yes. So this is our Telegram group for technical analysis. I'll leave this here for you to scan. So join us. We have technical specialists, technical analysis specialists to actually post updates on US market or even any other markets. It is very active. We will always continue to update. If you have any questions, you guys can either call us, or join this chat to see more. So if you guys still got any other questions, I want to just post it here. I will take some time, about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, to answer your questions. If not, it'll be really great for you guys to do some survey for us. This will be a survey link. Just click, or you can scan. I believe we are all scanning right now. Then after that, just do a quick simple survey. So if you want more, we are actually looking to do more of this TA on a bi-weekly session. So we don't want to do it like 1 month you don't see us and 1 month you see us. We want to do it, if possible, every day. That's what we want to commit. But our schedule is busy. So if you are actually curious, or if you have interest in this, do let us know so we can cater, because we want people to be like here. Like if you are dedicated, if you want to listen every day, can, but we need your support also. So currently it's at the monthly level. So it's me, Jonah, and Yingjie. Currently Yingjie is away. So it's me and Jonah today. So if you guys got any requests you want to do, feel free. Do the survey for us. Let us know if you guys got any comments. Okay? If not, I would like to thank you for your time. I know it's late. It's 11. You guys got work tomorrow. So enjoy your night. Happy trading. If you want to stay up late, don't stay up too late. Market is going to close. It's not sure what's the movement. Do check out the news if you guys have. If not, nothing for me, nothing for you. Thank you, and have a nice day, guys. Thank you. Thanks for coming.